The guy in front of us is the hero of our movie, Luke, a famous art thief in Thailand. At the start of the film, Luke is running away from a Thai gang because he stole a very valuable painting and refuses to hand it over to Kasem, the gang's leader. The chase is long, but it's clear Luke is a professional thief. He's able to change his motorcycle easily and gets into the train station to catch a train and escape. A little later, we see Luke sleeping on the train, dreaming about his father, a man obsessed with ancient paintings and artifact theft as well. When he wakes up, he finds a girl sitting in front of him. He doesn't know who she is or what she wants from him. The girl tells him she belongs to a secret organization whose mission is to protect very ancient artifacts. Then she talks to him about the Fountain of Youth. If someone lucky enough manages to drink from it, they will live forever. Who's foolish enough to want to live forever in a world like this? Now we learn that Luke has a gang and they are trying to reach the Fountain of Youth. Because of that, the mysterious girl and her men attack Luke to take the painting from him. But Luke manages to fight them all, locks the girl in a room, and goes up to the train roof to escape from them. Luke calls his gang partner Murphy and asks him to help him escape from Thailand because the women there have what he, Luke, possesses. We leave Luke in Thailand and go to Charlotte. Charlotte has some problems with her husband. They are trying to get a divorce but keep fighting over their child. Charlotte goes to her job at the museum, and there she's surprised to see Luke. We find out that he is her brother and they haven't seen each other for 10 years. We also learn that Charlotte used to be part of the gang but decided to leave them to stay close to her son. During their conversation, Charlotte discovers that Luke is at the museum to steal a very important painting. Despite her attempts to stop him, because the police are investigating, he manages to take the painting and escape. Charlotte runs after him and sees him driving away. For the last time, he offers her to get in with him or go back to the museum and forget she ever saw him again. Charlotte decides to get in the car with him. After a long chase, they reach a truck parked in the middle of the street, which turns out to be his secret laboratory. Charlotte then discovers that he is still working with his old gang, Murphy, Deep, and Owen. Luke explains to her that they are trying to reach the Fountain of Youth because Owen has a serious, incurable disease, and they want to save his life. After that, he asks Charlotte to help them and tells her he needs her by his side. He also says that if she refuses, she is free to go back to her son. Charlotte refuses and tells him she will go back to her son. He grabs her and drugs her to force her to help them. As soon as she wakes up, she finds herself on the street, takes a deep breath, and returns to the museum. There, she meets investigator Gamal from Interpol. He tells her that the painting has been returned to its place, and the police saw her chasing Luke, so they won't arrest her. After that, she leaves the museum and finds out that her husband took their son because her brother is a thief, and it's not possible for the child to live with her. Charlotte gets angry and goes to see Luke to tell him she lost her son and her job because of him. Luke then asks her to join the gang, promising that her problems will be solved. After that, he explains to her that there are 6 painters who drew the map of the Fountain of Youth in their paintings, and one of them is the one who stole the painting from the museum today. But he reveals to her that when he stole the painting, he didn't get to the map, and then he finds out from her that this painting is a fake. The original painting is actually with a person named Alfred. At night, we see Luke in a restaurant, and the girl who was chasing him in Thailand is there too. She warns him to continue with his mission. The next day, we see Luke and his gang on a ship in the middle of the sea. He tells his sister that Alfred bought the painting more than 100 years ago, but it sank with him during a voyage on a ship. Now, they're supposed to go and recover the painting from under the sea. They actually use modern equipment and manage to raise the sunken ship to the surface. Luke and Charlotte enter the ship and search for the painting, but the mysterious girl and her men arrive with their plane and try to kill Luke and Charlotte. As usual, Luke manages to kill anyone who attacks him, even if they are armed with an Uzi. After that, the two reach the place where the painting is, take it, and return to their ship. Back there, Charlotte receives good news. Her husband calls her and says he got a job contract in Japan and wants her to keep their son with her for a while. A little later, the team gathers to solve the map's mystery. After putting together the pieces of the paintings, Charlotte discovers that what they have in front of them isn't a map, but rather a guide that will lead them to an ancient book belonging to a 17th century English king. But before they can continue their journey, investigator Gamal and the police surprise them. They ask them to hand over all the paintings so they can be returned to their rightful place. Luckily for them, Kassem and his gang arrive at the scene as well and take control of the police. Luke deceives Kassem, asking him to let him and his gang go in exchange for handing over all the paintings, and Kassem agrees, of course. Before leaving, Luke notices that the battle has started between the police and Kassem's men, but he doesn't care about them and escapes with his gang. The next day, we see the gang on a plane, and we find out that Charlotte's son, Thomas, will join them on the mission. After that, we see the gang heading to the public library in Austria. They enter the library pretending to be a research team from Owen's company. An employee takes them to the book they are searching for, and Charlotte tries to decode the cipher and find the location of the map. At that moment, the mysterious woman arrives at the place, and Luke goes out to fight her. In the end, he hangs her by her leg with a rope in the middle of the library. After that, he returns to the rest of the gang. Deep uses a hand grenade to make a hole that leads them to a tunnel so they can escape into the city. There, Murphy is waiting for them with the car. The gang is at home, feeling frustrated because they can't solve the cipher, but Thomas, Charlotte's son, manages to crack it. He discovers that the cipher is actually on the outer pages of the book. He also figures out the cipher is a musical score, and since he loves music, he recognizes that the song played is called The Seven Wonders of the World. At that moment, they realize that the place shown to them corresponds to the 7 locations of the 7 wonders. However, one place is missing, and they find out it's the 3 pyramids of Giza. So, the gang books a flight to Egypt. On the other hand, the mysterious girl is with her boss, who asks her to stop Luke from completing the mission as much as possible. His intention is noble because he fears that the Fountain of Youth might corrupt humans and that whoever drinks from it will gain powers they do not deserve. We go back to the gang on their way to the pyramids. On the way, Luke explains to them the greatness of the Egyptian pyramids and the danger of the Fountain of Youth. He tells them that the goal of this trip is to cure Owen, and that no one but Owen will drink from the fountain. After a while, they meet the archaeologist Bashara, who takes them on a guided tour inside the pyramid. As soon as they enter, Owen asks them to start digging to reach the place of the fountain. Soon after, they discover a secret chamber inside the pyramid. There, they see a strange stone and become sure that the fountain is located beneath that chamber. Everyone tries to move the stone, but no one can. Then Thomas uses musical patterns and discovers that the stone moves like a musical instrument. In the end, the stone shifts. The gang finds another secret passage that leads them underground. There, they find just a small spot of water. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang is outside the pyramid, engaged in a fierce battle against the mysterious girl and her men. Investigator Gamal arrives to join them. In the end, the mysterious girl defeats the gang members and takes Investigator Gamal with her as they enter the pyramid. We go back to Luke and the gang who have reached the fountain. At that moment, Owen decides to confess to Luke that he is not actually sick, and that he tricked him into helping him reach the fountain. Then, Owen asks Luke to drink some water from the fountain to prove it works, but Luke refuses. At that point, Owen shoots him in the shoulder. Because of that, Luke decides to drink from the fountain so he doesn't lose his life. Before he drinks the drop of water on the ground, a drop of blood falls from his wound, and the water starts to increase and swirl around him. We discover that a huge amount of energy is entering Luke's body, but just before he drinks from the water, he has a vision of his sister and her son losing their lives because of him. This is because the fountain takes away the people you love most in exchange for the energy it gives you. For that reason, Luke refuses to drink and goes back to Charlotte and Thomas. Meanwhile, Owen is convinced that the fountain works and starts drinking from it himself. At that moment, the mysterious girl arrives with a secret key. As soon as she uses it, all the secret rooms begin to lock. Everyone manages to escape except Owen, who is controlled by the fountain. Luke and the gang leave the pyramid, feeling sorry for Investigator Gamal, who decides to forgive them and not arrest them. The mysterious girl then approaches Luke and tells him that she wasn't chasing him to stop him, but because she admired him. Later, Luke explains to his sister why he didn't drink from the fountain. He tells her he is not a thief, and that he just wanted to immortalize his name in history. He also admits he always wanted to visit the pyramids. After that, he thinks about the new mission and offers Charlotte to join it since she has neither a job nor any pressing matters. She agrees, but on the condition that her son Thomas comes with them. And here we have reached the end of our movie.